I hope my screen is visible again.
Yes, it is.
Today, as we discuss, our objective is we are going to understand the concept of threading, multi-threading, concept of multi-threading. Okay? So, once Java started since 1995, at the Java version 1, you can say, since Java 1, this concept is supported by this Java language, the concept of multi-threading. Okay, so since Java 1, you can say, since Java 1, the concept of multi-threading is supported by the Java language. Right? Let's understand what is multi-threading. Or first, let's understand what is the thread. Okay, what is a thread, right? Why we need the thread, right?
Yeah.
Why we need a thread? Okay? So first two question understand, and then we can discuss how as a Java language uh, offer or help developer. Hey developer, you can write application for multi-threaded environment, right? So as of now, just for whatever the program you running in the main method is considered as a one thread. Okay, so let's understand what is thread. Okay, and then we can understand how thread we can start, how you can thread write, how you can thread run, right? So you know, our operating systems, our operating systems is responsible to run anything in my system. Whatever I'm speaking or listening or watching or doing anything on my computer, okay, anything on my computer, that is taken care by your operating system. Operating system is give the facility so that anything you can do on your system. System is computer, right? So question is how systems are doing this. Okay, currently notice I'm in my laptop, we are doing this online calling, and maybe multiple process in the system running. If you look our task manager, lots of our you can say services, or you can say lots of services on my machine is still running going on, and even lots of uh, you can say processes running here. Maybe here you notice Google Chrome running, some command running, some different services running. So you notice we have a one computer but lots of things running simultaneously. I am speaking with you, and I am sharing my screen, I am moving my mouse, right? So these are the different things. Speaking is a different things, moving mouse is a different things, or sharing screen is a different thing. Currently my IntelliJ idea also is one software is running. So notice in one system lots of different kind of things is going at one of now, right? So all the things with respect to operating system is considered as a process. Notice this is the all this like maybe your Chrome is the one process, right? One process running. Like IntelliJ is another process is running. So currently notice in my system one Chrome is going on, one IntelliJ ID is running on, and lots of services running. So you can say operating system is the by default nature to support multiple process running simultaneously. So our operating system by default support multiple processes are running. Multiple processes are running, right? So these
That's the feature of the operating system.
operating system.
Mhm.
Similarly, so here IntelliJ the one processes is running my system. Chrome is the one processes is running my system. My screen sharing or my voice is the one system process. So you can say our operating system is capable to execute, run multiple process within a one time. Why? Because our hardware, our operating system, our CPU is so capable to handle these things, right? Similarly, our JVM, Java Virtual Machine, right? JVM is also one of the process. Notice JVM is the one of process also running my machine. Whenever I run any code, so operating system don't know your code. Operating system only know the one process is running my in my space that is named as JVM, Java Virtual Machine. Yeah, Java Runtime System. The JVM is the one process. So whatever the program you running as a Java language, operating system consider this JVM as a one process. Like similarly, IntelliJ is a one process, Chrome is the one process, lots of my software is running on my system, like Notepad is a one process, like whatever the look, all the programs are running my system. Chrome is the one process, right? Remote desktop is the one process, right? So whatever these applications install in my machines is considered as a one process, right? Microsoft Team is the one process, right? Word is the one process, PowerPoint is the one process, like Microsoft. Similarly, maybe Ubuntu, some software I install my maybe one process. So
Right.
all this software you install in this operating system, that is considered as a one process.
Yeah.
Okay. So is it understand what is process?
Yes.
Process is a kind of one service or a job that is offered as a service by the OS, right? The process is like a service, like a service at offered by your OS, by the OS, right? So similarly, our JVM, Java Virtual Machine, on where our application run, right? This is also a process. Okay. So till now, any confusion? What is process? Whatever the software you install on your machine, operating system consider as one process. Is it clear?
Yeah, it is.
Similarly, whenever you are going to run your Java application, you have to install, notice you have to install JRE software, JRE, right?
Mhm.
JRE software.
Mm.
Okay,
Yeah.
software. Or sometime as a developers, our developer, we install the JDK, right?
Mhm.
JDK install, install. The JRE as a software, JRE software as a process, as a process. Or you can say install the JDK as a software process, right? But
Right.
internally, all the JDK or JRE Java name as a JVM process, as a JVM process, as a JVM process. Okay? So whenever you are going, you want to run any Java based applications, you have to install one of them, maybe JRE or maybe JDK. both internally as operating system, as a OS, JVM is a process. As a OS, the JVM is a process. Is a one process. Is a process, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we have a two flavor as a software developer. Generally, they install this JDK.
Mm-hmm.
JDK means as a operating system, it is the one JVM process started, right? And in the case of JRE, means ki where our application going to deploy it. We are not going to compiling the code. We're not going to building the code, right? Just you
Mm-hmm.
want to run. So generally we are installing the JRE. Whenever once our software development done, when we are going to deploy this software in the customer environment, a Docker environment, any cloud-based resources, so at that place we only install JRE. We are not installing the JDK because JDK is only required for the developer who are writing the code and compiling the code. But in
Gotcha.
the case of while running only, we require GRE, right?
Mm-hmm.
So as a operating systems, Java programming language as a install is the one software component, right? That software component, as a talk about the operating system perspective, this is considered as simply JVM process, right? So is it clear what is JVM process? JVM process is the one kind of a service that is supported by your operating system that help us to run your any Java based application or program.
Right. This
Is it
makes
clear?
sense. Yeah.
Makes sense. Good. So process is the bigger term. Process is the one terms.
Yeah.
Process is the bigger terms. Whenever notice I am install my JRE or any software, maybe I install Window, maybe I install uh, maybe Notepad plus plus, or maybe I install maybe with some BL media player. Whenever you install on the vending machine, just window machine consider this is the one process installed, right? For operating system, they don't do anything, just know this is a process. So let's discuss about the process internal. Okay, process internal. What process internal? So let us, I'm installing this my IntelliJ software, right? So whenever IntelliJ install, so how, let's key on the my control panel, okay? And now you check the what the software install as a operating system. Notice I have installed 7Jeep, Adobe, and lots of other things, right? So here we have installs of Microsoft Edge, Google Chrome, Firefox, Team, IntelliJ, right? Putty, all are the software installed in this system. So whenever you are installing any software, okay, software requires some kind of memory, right? To if in your machine there is a no enough space available, you cannot install any software on a machine, right? Because that means they indicate whenever you're going to install any new software, this software requires some memory. You notice on my sometime in your mobile, you are installing multiple apps, right? So
Right.
sometime you showed your memory, mobile memory is full, and after that you can try to install any other software. They say you have don't have enough space to install any software, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Correct.
Software, or you can say in the mobile app. These all are the required some kind of memory, right? So
You're right. That's
similarly,
good.
whenever you're installing any software, we now next we talk about this memory terminology. So any software while running or while installing, they required memory, right? So one internal things we have to understand memory, right? And now memory can be two kind of things, right? And then in our system, one memory is your RAM memory, right? RAM memory means while running program you want to RAM memory, the memory that use while run the process, right?
One RAM memory, that is to mean that like the
Yes, I'm
space of that 1 GB or something, or there's a
no
number.
no.
Oh,
Just
okay.
consider one types of
Okay.
memory, the RAM memory.
Right.
Memory is used for run the process.
Mm. That's
Okay?
it.
That means whenever you are running any process, they need a memory. Let's say example, I as an employee, I am going to work from office. So in
Mhm.
office, I need some space where I am sitting, I am doing work, right?
Correct.
Similarly, let's my IntelliJ idea is now going to run. So while running, they need some space, right?
Mhm.
On where they can sit and run, right?
Mhm.
So those memory considered as a RAM memory, read access memory. Different kind of memory. Not going to detail about the complete operating system memory, but our application perspective, this is known as a RAM memory, or simple say the process memory, or you can say the process memory. Okay.
Sure.
Second time, second option would be what happened. Let's see, I stop IntelliJ, right?
Mhm.
Now I stop IntelliJ. No IntelliJ is running my laptop. So still required some memory
Mhm.
because this software are installed, let's mind the C drive and program file. So they store some memory, right? This is the
Mhm.
IntelliJ somehow, right?
Mhm.
JetBrain, right? This is a software I install, right?
Right.
So that means still they occupied some memory. That is memory known as a hard disk or any permanent storage device, right?
Uh,
Whenever I run, so that memory is still required, but they need more one additional memory to run this application. Now I'm going to start this software. Now, whatever the screen is coming, whatever this screen loading, right? They
mhm.
also need one space, right?
Makes
So
sense.
due to the two kind of memory. One kind of memory, one is for running the application. One is
Mhm.
just for storage the application data where software installed, right? So
Sure.
that is known as a primary memory or secondary memory, you can say. This is the one kind of a primary memory, and one is the secondary memory.
Mhm.
Secondary memory.
Sure.
Secondary memory may be hard disk, okay? C drive, D drive, right? Hard disk means the permanent storage device. This is known as a permanent storage device.
Sure.
Okay. So generally, we are talking memory. That memory can be two kind of. One primary memory. This is used for the running application, right?
Mhm.
And secondary memory. This is the memory where permanently storage means you can just store. Maybe your system restart. I restart. Still my intelligent software install on your machine, right? But now not running, right? So for
Mhm.
running your application, you need one memory, that is the RAM memory, and the memory which are just store the file system or anything. Even you restart your system, still those memory required. That is the your permanent storage device, that is the hard disk, right?
Gotcha.
So whatever you are looking here, C drive, D drives, all the PC or system have like right here.
Mhm.
My PC have a C drive, D drive. So these two are your hard disk data, right?
Sure.
Permanent storage device. Whatever you are storing here, they are available. Even your system is stopped or not stopped. Even I
Mhm.
can pull out the hard disk and can go to the put in the different machine. I can access the data, right?
You're right.
So these memory known as a secondary memory, yeah, permanent memory, and the secondary memory, and one is the primary memory. Primary memory is the memory used for running the application, running the process, right?
Primary memory is what? That is.
Running for the memory required to run the application. That is known as a RAM memory.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Okay, read
Okay.
access memory, right?
Redux memory. Right.
Yeah. Also, they have a lots of kind of memory. I'm not going to talk, but majorly just explaining. You are installing any software, okay?
Mhm.
They required memory, right?
Correct.
Memory.
Correct.
Memory kind of a two kind of memory must required. One for just installing the software. That is the
Mhm.
secondary memory,
Mhm.
hard disk, right?
Mhm.
Second, to run the application. Okay. To
Right.
running application, you require another memory. That is the RAM memory. That memory are used by your CPU, OS, operating system.
Right.
Okay. So
Uh-huh.
whenever I'm talking about JVM as a process,
Mm-hmm.
now let's come in. JVM as a process.
Uh-huh.
So whenever JVM run, at that time they need a memory, right?
Sure. That's it.
So you can say that is known as a process memory or JVM memory, right?
Right.
So the start is that whatever the software or services running on your machine, for that they need a space that is known as a per- primary memory or RAM memory. Notice in my this laptop, lots of services are, some are running, some are stopped. Look, these are the services running, so
Right.
they are occupied my primary memory, RAM memory. Okay,
Mhm.
and some application, notice these are the stopped. So these services are stopped, means they are not running as of now. That means they are not using my RAM memory. They are just use the our install places, C drive, D drive, where the software installed. That means they use the secondary memory.
Uh-huh. Okay.
So one process or one services or one application can be two mode. One is your running mode and one is your not stop mode, right? So JVM is also have a two mode.
One is run
JVM,
and the one is stop.
JVM is uh, one mode is the running mode.
That's good point.
JVM, JVM can have a two option, two mode, can have a two mode, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mode. One can be running. Second can be not running,
JVM. Okay, one not two.
right?
Okay.
So notice when I run any program, how to run the program, I would write the CMD, right? I'm command prompt, I say Java, let's sample dot Java. Whenever I run this command, after that JVM is going to run. Until you are not running this Java command, JVM is not going to run. But JVM is available. This is a Java command means now JVM software install on your machine. This system command recognize. But currently there is no JVM running because I am not running any Java program, right?
That's right.
But
Okay.
notice this is the my IntelliJ. IntelliJ software may be written in the Java language. So might be JVM is running, right? Because I am running IntelliJ, right?
Right.
So due to that, you have to check any your Java application is running, that you can say or JVM process is right, and maybe not running, that is the currently no JVM process, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, JVM process required a memory, right? So question why I'm more talking about the memory, because this memory is the one of resources, critical resources. So whenever we talk about as a multi-threading, always I am talking about the resources. Resources means memory, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because whenever you run application, your application required memory. That memory is the primary memory, RAM memory.
Acha.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is now any confusion?
No, it's making clear to me. Yeah.
Okay. And good part, our operating system can support, you can run multiple process at the same time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you can start JVM process 1, JVM process 2, JVM process 3. Maybe I can start Chrome 1, Chrome 2, Chrome 3, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because that means process means running state of your software. Whenever you can install only one software at a time, I
Right.
install one JRE, my system, one time. But I can start many JVM process, JVM process, because I want command terminal, I can start one JVM, another JVM, another JVM. So
Mhm.
in your operating system, might be case multiple JVM process can be start.
अच्छा,
Like in the case of IntelliJ, I have just only one instance open now. I can open another instance of IntelliJ, right?
right.
I can. Means ki our JVM as a IntelliJ as a process, one instance, another instance, multiple instance, means ki multiple process. So
Mm,
by default, the feature of operating system, one software can be run multiple instance, right?
अच्छा,
Let's example, I start Notepad. So whenever I start Notepad, one processes for Notepad is running, right? One
right.
process for the Notepad is started, right? That we
Uh-huh.
are running. Might be I can go another start Notepad. So notice the two Notepad are started, right?
Right.
So from operating system, two Notepad processes are running now, and both are need some primary memory.
अच्छा,
Similarly, in our operating system, also possible we can start multiple JVM process, right? Maybe I can start one command prompt here, start one Java application, right? And I
right.
can start another command prompt, right?
Definitely.
Another command prompt, and the second types I can start another Java application, right?
अच्छा, uh-huh.
From this terminal I can start one JVM process. Okay, and from this terminal also I start another JVM process. Our operating system can support, means ki our operating system can allow to run multiple JVM process.
Mm-hmm.
Is it clear? So
Yes.
till now we have to understand the concept of operating system. Operating systems are support you can run multiple instances of the same installed software.
अच्छा,
That multiple instances known as a processes, right?
right.
Due to that, here I'm not saying I'm running the software. I'm just processes one, processes two, processes three. Okay, so our operating system is by default enough capacity, enough power, enough space. They can run all these processes at the same time, right? Notice I here I'm speaking to you and I'm sharing my screen, right? Both thing going simultaneously, right?
Right.
You are able to hear my voice and able to see my screen,
Mm-hmm.
right? So
Uh-huh.
now how possible? Because due to this operating system support multitasking. Okay, operating system support multitasking. This multitasking concept is that means कि multiple tasks means multiple process are running simultaneously at the same time. More than one, two, three processes are running, right?
Right.
At the same time, might be I can start one audio video. Audio video also going on. My voice also going on. My screen sharing also going on. How possible? Due to this operating system capability, our hardware capability.
Yeah. That's the feature of the OS, the
Operating
hardware.
system. So why we so now, though let us think. Now our operating system is so powerful, so
Right.
capable.
Right.
Sometime what happened in my one operating system, I started one Java application, one JVM, right?
Right.
And this JVM operation say, hey, type some input. Yeah, type your password, right? And
Right.
now your users are waiting to typing your password. Until you're not typing the password, our JVM process is waiting for you, right?
Right.
Hey, you type something, then I can start. So notice at this time, our JVM process are just stop waiting for user request, user input. And at that time, our operating systems are idle. They're not doing anything, right?
Mm-hmm.
So multi-threading is just one of the way where we are going to increase our CPU utilization, right? Currently, our application, our CPU have very lots of power to process. Same
Mm-hmm.
time, multiple instruction, multiple program they can run, right? So why not say, let's key I have run, why not I run two maybe processes? One if it stop, another process can continue, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this is the concept where Java designer think, why not our application, our Java application can run multiple sequence of code simultaneously. Maybe I have decided that close them, close them. So what I'm trying to say, Java designers purpose, why not we can take the benefit of OS feature. OS have a lots of power, lots of memory computation facility.
Yes.
I have written one piece of code, one method doing something, right?
Right.
One method, another doing something, right?
Right.
I have written another method that doing something. What is a software? Software, all the software is a method. Notice all the application is a method, right? Method means a sequence of instruction you written something to perform some specific job.
Mhm.
So Java say, I have written multiple method, multiple logics, logic one, logic two, logic three, right?
Mhm.
Why currently what happened? Once this method done, after that we are moving to the here, right? We are this method done, then we are moving to the here, right? This
Right.
method done, then you can say our main method completed, right? So
Mhm.
this is known as a sequential execution of your methods, right?
That's
So
it.
this is the method one, first completed, then method two completed, then method three completed. So
That's it.
in this way, all the methods we written are run sequentially one by one by one, right?
Mhm.
So this is the till now, whatever we learn till now, we have written multiple method, method one, call method two, method three, method four. All
Mhm.
methods run in this fashion, sequential fashion. One complete, then move to the next. One complete, then move to the next. All complete, then say, hey, main method is done, right? So
Mhm.
this execution mode known as a sequential execution of your application. So Java designer say, can possible, why not these all run parallelly? Why one after one?
Mhm.
So depend upon your business use case. Depend upon business use case. Say ki this is the method one, they are independent and this method also independent. No input of this required here, right?
Mhm.
Might be our case, some application, this is a three activity. Maybe here displaying UI part. Here maybe calculating the some processing. Here some just sending data to the some third party, right? So
Mhm.
these three tasks, these three logics, these three methods are independent, right?
Right.
But whenever I am going to run in the as a Java application, I call this M1 method, this is M2 method, this is the M3 method. So I can say call M1, then call M2, then call M3, right? In this way, we are calling method. So whatever the by default nature of Java language, they complete first, one done, then they complete second, once done, then they complete third, right?
Mhm.
So this is known as a single sequence execution of your program.
Isn't it called like single thread or something?
Yeah, single threaded application, right?
Oh, single thread. Got it. That's it.
Okay. This is the single threaded application.
Mhm.
Once your all method done, you can say my application also completed. So
Mhm.
till now, whatever we have learned in this series of our Java language, we only learn single sequence execution of our program,
That's it.
also known as a single threaded application.
That's it.
So by default, Java is a single threaded application. If you're not doing anything related to the threads, by default, this is a single threaded.
That's it.
Okay.
Mhm.
So now Java say developer want, they can run, run in the multi-threaded environment. Means this can also run the same time, this can also run the same time, this can also run the same time.
Mhm.
Why we are waiting to each other? So let's the things. So notice whenever our JVM process is started, they need a memory, right?
Mhm.
Memory. And in this memory, you have to start the method one, method two. method 3. Here I'm talking method 1, method 2, method 3. Just I'm explaining use. Currently use only aware method, right? So I'm
Mhm.
saying this is the method 1. Method 1, and this is the method 2. This is method 3, right? These
Uh-huh.
three methods. And this is the in the one JVM, this is the only one JVM I started, and they have only one shared memory, right? This is the
Sure.
memory known as a
Sure.
Java, this memory known as a, not I'm saying RAM memory. Java as a programming language given this name known as a your heap memory. What is heap memory?
Acha.
So by default, this is the RAM memory. But as a programming language, say this
Mhm.
is your heap memory. So whenever you start any JVM process, notice, let's keep in my machine, we have a two, or maybe we have a let's key 16 GB RAM, right?
Uh-huh.
RAM, permanent memory RAM. So whenever I start my JVM process, maybe let's key 1 GB. So I allocated 1 GB for my JVM process, right?
Mhm.
So this 1 GB of my JVM process, JVM say I'm not going to say simple RAM, I'm saying this is my heap memory. So this is the programming terminology. Heap memory means your process required some memory. Those
Uh-huh.
memory known as a heap memory. So whenever I say I start JVM as a process, they need a memory. That memory name as a heap memory. But logically, it is the part of your RAM memory because whenever our system have a 16 GB RAM, so I cannot say, hey JVM, you take 16 GB. Then
No.
I allocate all memory by JVM. So then our operating system how can give the memory for other processes, maybe operating system, maybe file system, maybe input output, maybe IO, maybe read device, maybe input device, maybe audio device, right? So
Mhm.
generally, whenever we start our Java application, we give some configuration. By default, I think Java started with the 512 KB, right?
Mhm.
So you can set, I want to initial JVM memory required 1 GB, half GB, 2 GB, whatever you want. So those memory in the case of operating system, simple RAM memory. But in the case of programming language, we are considering heap memory,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
Is it clear?
Yeah. Yes.
And here I am talking about only method. I can say this is the one object. Right about object one. This is the object two and object three. And object, the best terminology in the multi-threading say this is the thread. Thread one, thread two, thread three. So each thread, Java, each thread is an object, right?
That's when you're calling thread and also
No,
method. The same thing.
yeah. Yes, same thing. Just understand. Ki method is written inside your class, right?
Uh-huh.
A class means object, right? Can
Uh-huh.
create object. So by default, all this logic written in a method that must go inside a particular class. A class means you need a object, right? Create the object and call the method, right?
Uh-huh.
So here similarly, thread is the one of Java object. And whenever you know, okay, whenever I'm going to create any Java object, they require the memory, right? That
Achha.
memory is the known as a heap memory.
Achha.
So whenever I say, ki, hey, I want to create class one, class test, and I want to create the new object, my test, so they
Mhm.
need a memory. That memory, from where the memory? So JVM say, hey, yeah, JVM say, yes, sure, you want memory? Yes, I have a 1 GB memory, and that is known as a heap. So I'm allocating, I'm storing this object in my heap.
Achha. Achha. Achha.
So all the object that required
Mhm.
storage object that always is stored in the heap memory, right?
Uh-huh.
And whenever you can start thread 1, thread 2, thread 3,
Mhm.
each thread are sharing the same JVM space memory.
Right.
So here two terminology come. Let's one is your process, right? This is the process. This is
Mhm.
the process. In
Right.
our case, JVM is the process, right?
Right.
JVM is the process. The JVM have a one memory. That
Mhm.
is the known as a heap memory, right?
Right.
And in one JVM process, we can start thread 1, thread 2, thread 3, thread 4. The
Mhm.
thread is the what thread? Thread is the Sequence of instruction look like a main method, right? Thread is
Mhm.
a sequence of execution, sequence of execution,
Mhm.
sequence of execution, sequence of execution, right?
Right.
Each thread, if they thread also going to run, they need a memory. That
Mhm.
memory are used by this shared memory. This is one same heap memory because this thread is a part of your Java virtual machine. Okay,
Right. Right.
so this is thread 1, thread 2, thread 3, thread 4, right? So
Mhm.
each thread, whenever going to run on the CPU, they require memory. That memory are used by this same memory that JVM have, right?
Right.
So all threads are sharing the same memory. And that memory known as a heap memory,
Sorry.
right?
That makes sense. So.
So here in the case of Java language, JVM is the one process.
Mhm.
JVM is the one process, and thread is your just single execution of your application. Single execution of one path. This is another path. This is another path. This is
Mhm.
another path. So you can
Mhm.
say thread is logically also the part of your JVM to serve the specific purpose. So this thread is written to perform a specific task, a specific
Mhm.
work, right?
Mhm.
So this is the thread. What is the thread? Thread is the single execution flow
Mhm.
for a specific purpose. This thread is designed to let's calculate the interest. They are only calculating interest. So this is a single execution of your application. So
Mhm.
one thread is the single execution of your business logic. So
Mhm.
by default, whatever we run as a main application is one thread that is the single execution of my application. But
Mhm.
similarly, we can write multiple sequence execution. This is single execution, another single execution, another single execution, another single execution. But
Mhm.
all we can run in the simultaneously inside our JVM.
All
So
of are
when
running the
yeah
inside the
one
JVM.
yeah. So this is the concept known as a multi-threading. Means ki multiple thread one, thread two, thread three, thread four. All I can started.
So
So
that's
this
mean all the. I do have one question in here, Ajay. That is that's mean thread is always running on the JVM,
yes
but not in the other side, like not in the
no
only the virtual machine. It is running all the
yeah
threads.
JVM is the software
Virtual
processes.
software.
What is
Achha,
the
achha.
JVM? JVM is the one process, like
Processor.
your Notepad one process, like
Uh-huh.
Word Note one process, like Paintbrush one process.
Uh-huh.
Similarly, JVM is the one process. JVM Java Virtual Machine is not any physical machine. This is
No, no,
nothing. This is
virtual.
just one process of operating system.
All right.
Don't confuse the JVM. This is not a machine. This is the
No.
name of the process known as Java Virtual Machine.
Achha, achha, achha,
But
achha.
this is not a machine. This is just one kind of process. Like Notepad is a one process, Paintbrush is a one process, Word is a one process,
Mhm.
Chrome is the one process,
Mhm.
IntelliJ IDEA is the one process, right?
Right.
Similarly, JVM is the one
Another
process,
process.
right?
Agree.
So Java say not always you are going to run single threaded application or single execution. If you want, you can run similarly multiple sequence simultaneously, right?
All right.
So till now, I know I can run my main method means ki this is a single execution of my application. But JVM has a capability. They say, hey, developer, if you want, you can start another sequence execution simultaneously the same time. You
Mhm.
can. That is the multi-threading. The coming classes, we are going to understand how we can start thread 1 and thread 2 as well as. By default, our main application is considered a main thread, right?
Uh-huh.
From main thread, I can start multiple thread, maybe thread 1, thread 2, thread 3, and all threads are running independently. Thread 1 is not waiting for thread 2. Thread 2 is not waiting for thread 3, right?
Achha.
Because as of now, in the main application, let's main application, in the main method, I can written method 1, method 2, method 3, right? So this is the method 1 logic, right? This is the method 2 logic, right? And this is the method 3 logic, right? I am
Mhm.
written some line of code, right? Line
Mhm.
of code, line of code. The by default, whenever your main application is start, they are going to first complete this line, right? Line 1, line 2, line 3, line 4. Notice the, while executing this is not started, right?
Mhm.
Because currently our thread is going to execute this line, this line, this line, this line. Once done, they go back here, right? And once again going to the here, again it started this line, this line. Once this completed, then this is going to start, right? This is
Right.
the right.
That's been
Once
one
this
after
done,
another.
go and again this is started this line, this line, this line, this. Once done, then can say, hey, this done, this done, this done, this done. Main is also done, right?
Mhm.
So this is known as a single execution path of your application, right?
Okay.
This is known as single threaded application. So
Mhm.
here, can developer do this is go to the same. If this code is started, this can also started
Mhm.
simultaneously. This line also printed, this line also printed,
Right.
yes, or this line also printed. So I can say yes, it is possible in Java. This also going run, this also going run, this also
Mhm.
going run.
Mhm.
This is known as a multi-threading. Means ki he say, hey, this is the code I want to run a separate thread. This is the code I want to run a separate thread. This is the code I want to run a separate thread.
Mhm.
So now we are going to understand how we can inform, hey JVM, this is the my M2 method I want to run in a separate thread, right?
Right.
This is my M3 method I want to run in a separate thread. By default, if you're not doing anything, by default, Java application running as a single threaded application, right?
Oh, what is it?
Till
Java?
now, any
Okay.
doubt, any question?
You said like Java is a single threaded application
By default.
by default. Okay.
Till
Right.
now, in the last couple of classes, whatever we did program, all the
Mhm.
program are by default run by the main thread, only one thread, main thread.
Right.
So is it possible main thread is by default our Java language given to us, right?
Right.
Can I write my thread? Yes, we can.
Definitely. Yeah.
And that is known as a multi-threading concept.
Sure.
Here, so again recap, our JVM Java virtual machine is a, what is this? This is the one process in the terms of OS, right? This is the one process.
Mhm.
This is the one process, simply one process. Similarly, like Notepad is the one process, right? This is
Right.
the Notepad, one process. Notepad, maybe Word is the one page.
Mhm.
Maybe Paintbrush is the one process. Similarly, JVM is the one also processes. For operating system, JVM is just one process. And notice each one process have a own memory. So they have a one specific memory they have needed, right? The
Right.
Java this is known as a heap memory.
Mhm.
Okay, and here JVM has options. They can create sequence flow of execution, right?
Right.
Sequence flow of execution. This sequence flow of execution, you can say one thread. This is another sequence flow of execution. Business plus sequence flow means ki you want to meet some business, then you have to write line one, line two, line three, line four, line five. This is my meet the business one, right? So this
Mhm.
one specific sequence of execution, you can say thread. So this is the one thread, or one thread, or one thread. Okay,
Mhm.
each thread I have option, we can start independently. Say,
Okay.
hey, let's start, you can start doing work. Let's I start this, let's start doing work. Even it is not completed, still they are going to start, right? You,
Mhm.
hey, let's another start. Don't wait for this code, let's you do your work, right?
Right.
This is known as a thread. Thread is nothing, just sequential execution of your code.
Right.
Single thread means sequential execution of your code.
Special execution. Yeah.
Similarly, sequential execution of a code or a program or a logic, you can do, JVM has a offer, you can do multiple similarly. One sequence, another sequence, another sequence. So whenever we are on multiple sequence, that means multiple threading.
Right.
Multi-threading we are going to do,
Yeah, it
right?
makes sense. Yeah, 100%.
So notice this JVM is the sometime known as this is the heavyweight process. Why?
Mm-hmm.
Because they required memory. But whenever you can going to start the thread, thread is not required separate memory. They are using the same memory of your JVM process.
That's right.
You can say thread is the lightweight process.
So one thing again, I forget that now it is not coming to mind. Just that when that memory is ran out, the RAM is ran out.
Hmm.
So it is showing that error message you said like
Yes,
initially, or
sure.
is it not running at
If
all?
your if your available memory for JVM is full, Java say JVM out of memory exception.
Right. That's when they're not running anyway.
Yeah, we cannot run the program if
Definitely.
all the available space are free. Whenever in Java you can say create new object, they allocated some memory here, right? Again say new object, again memory allocated something,
Mhm.
again new object, again memory allocated,
Mhm.
and whatever the operating system allow you as a JVM as a process, only those memory you can access. Okay, if your memory full and you again Java programmer say hey create new string of object, you saying yes your memory is full, you cannot create new object.
But at that time, they're not because of again, just like if I'm not wrong, uh, at that time they're not going to use that hard drive memory. I mean hard
No,
disks,
no hard drive memory JVM cannot access.
because of this, because of that is not connected with the like JVM and hard
Yeah,
drive.
they
Because
are
of this,
connected. They are connected. Notice whenever you are your application running mode, that means
uh-huh.
they can only for running require the memory that is your RAM memory. RAM memory means number of allocated byte for you, allocated GB for you. Only those memory you can use. Surely for writing some file, some content, you can read the hard disk, C
Mhm.
drive, D drive. You can write here, but here
Right,
we have limited memory. Here you cannot create more object, right?
right. Okay.
Whatever you're creating object, they are going to store in a heap. They're not going to store a C drive, D drive folder. If you want to
Uh-huh.
store something C drive, D drive, you have to do the file right, right?
Right,
You can
right.
write the file,
Uh-huh.
but before writing, you have to stand here memory, right? Let's say,
Uh-huh.
hey, I am going to write in a file. So first
Mhm.
you have to stand this memory, then you can write here, right?
You're right.
So you minimum memory required so that one process, a one thread can start.
Gotcha.
And notice whenever you are starting one thread also, I think I have remembered they required at least 2 MB memory,
Gotcha.
megabyte.
Oh,
One
at
thread,
least.
yeah,
Okay.
okay. So
Okay.
due to that, because whenever you create new thread acquire here object, right? That
Uh-huh.
required 2 MB. New thread again 2 MB. New thread again 2 MB. The minimum, I think, for one thread is a 2 MB space required. Uh,
Uh-huh.
Whenever your JVM one process is started, they have only limited space, maybe 1 GB or 2 GB or 3 GB. Whatever the you configure, whenever you start your application, you have to configure the default JVM memory is this.
Uh-huh.
Whenever you're starting any application, at the startup time, you have to say, hey JVM, I'm allocating 1 GB for you, right? So
Yeah.
only 1 GB space available. So according to 1 GB, you can create the number of object and a number of thread, whatever you want, right?
That's it.
They have a limitation. Okay. But
Mm-hmm.
you can say JVM is the one. Just consider JVM is the one simple process, right? Consider JVM. What is JVM? JVM is the one process. And
One
this is
process by default.
by default. And this process required the memory, right? They
Mm-hmm.
required memory to run. For
Right,
running, we required memory. So
right,
this memory known as a heap memory, right?
right,
And JVM can start multiple thread, right?
right.
Multiple thread. Their thread is the also very lightweight because whenever you start thread, they required only 2 MB memory. This thread also required 2 MB memory. This required also 2 MB memory. So they
Right.
required memory with very less memory, not like a JVM.
Mhm.
JVM, whenever you start, they required the 2 GB, yeah, 1 GB, you configure, right? But here they have very light. One thread get very little memory. Due to that, this is a lightweight process. The thread is the lightweight process somewhere. If you read the definition, say thread is the lightweight process. JVM is a heavyweight process because JVM need a lots memory than your thread, right? So
Yeah.
is it clear? Thread, what is the
Right.
thread? Thread is the just single execution of your code. Okay, this is the
Yeah.
one thing. Single execution of your code.
Yeah. Single execution. Actually.
And if you similarly you can launch multiple single execution same time. This is
Mm-hmm.
not really multi-threading.
Sure. Yeah.
So you can say JVM is the one process that is the heavyweight process because they required the enough space, enough memory of the RAM. But
Sure.
thread is the just lightweight process. This is also process because
Mm-hmm.
operating system each and everything a process. This
Mm-hmm.
thread is just lightweight means they have a very required very limited memory to run this code, right? Because your code have a limited 10 line, 100 line, 200, yeah, something. This activity is our operating system can do so quickly, so enough, so fast. Due to that, this is lightweight process.
Exactly.
Okay,
Yeah.
the thread is the lightweight process. JVM is the heavyweight process because they required some extra memory so that they can support multi-threading, right?
Sure. Agree. Agree.
So, any confusion till now? What is thread? What is process?
No, zero. It
It's
is
clear.
clear. Yeah.
And coming classes, we are going to understand how we can write a thread. So, notice whenever I am write code here, system is out. Okay, here's a line one. Okay,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and here's line two.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and here if you run code, they print two lines. It's very simple. But
Okay.
I want to know that this line is printed by which thread. What is the name of thread, right?
Mm-hmm.
What is the name? Two line printed. But as a programmer, we don't know this is printed by thread one or thread two or both are printed by who. So here you can use this class name as a system dot current thread. Okay. No.
Or
This is
to
the one
know that which process we are running.
JVM. This is the only one process JVM.
Exactly.
By default, Java is run under the JVM process, right?
Right. Yeah.
So if I run this way, I can know that this is run by. Notice I calling. So notice this is run by your main thread. Notice main thread.
Yeah.
So
Both of them are.
even
Yeah.
let's I can write static void our M1 method. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
M1 method, and I write the same code here. Okay, this is
Mm-hmm.
the M1. M1. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
M1, and this is the M1 line.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is M1 line 3. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and let's I write similarly M2. Okay, two method.
This M1 means like
Method name, any method name can
multiple
be
word? Yeah.
method name. If I call here like M1, we can call M2, we can call and just out main done, main completed, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is the completed done. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So till now, whatever the method you're writing, method one, method two, by default nature of our Java application, they are run by single thread. That thread known as a main thread. Notice line one read by main thread, main thread. Even method one, M1 also read by the main thread, M2 also read by the main thread, and then after say it's done. So notice here we have a your main method
Mm-hmm.
and your M1 method, your M2 method. First,
Doesn't matter.
your main started, then code jump to the M1, right?
Uh,
M1 done, M2 done, M1. Once M1 all done, then
uh-huh.
M1 complete, then go to the M2, right? Then
Mm-hmm.
go to the M2, M2, M2. Once M2 done, again come back to the main method here. Main done, then can say done. So by default, sequentially first start there. If done, then move here. If done, then can say your main is completed. The by default nature of our application is the single threaded. Notice only one thread, main thread are doing all the things, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Is it okay?
it is.
But now, next couple of classes, we are going to understand. I want this code be run by separate thread. This method may be run by separate thread, not the same thread they can run, right?
Good. Okay.
And this is the main thread. By default, this main method is the your main thread, right? From
Mm-hmm.
here, whatever the method calling directly also execute the same thread.
You're right.
Okay, so till now, whatever the code you written last all the classes, by
Mm-hmm.
default they are run by your main thread only.
Main thread.
If
Yeah.
let's say our application till now, whatever we study, single threaded application.
Single thread.
Till now, we have not learned how I can create one more thread. Because this
Mm-hmm.
thread by default your Java implementer or Java designer given to you. So
Yeah.
whenever you run application, by default one JVM process is started. In
Mm-hmm.
JVM, memory heap memory allocated, and only one thread main thread is started, and whatever the code written here in the main, only those things are running. And
Okay.
once main done, your application done, there is no another thread, your JVM also closed. So this is the by default nature. If your main done, main method completed, that means your by default thread is stopped.
Right.
And once you notice JVM, notice in JVM there is no any other thread, no any other thread, JVM is also going to stop.
Mm-hmm.
So by default, this is the uh, beauty of your Java applications. Whenever your application completed, thread automatically closed. Whenever your JVM don't have any processes, any thread,
Mm-hmm.
this process also start. So this JVM process automatically close when its all child thread are completed. Let's you created two threads. Okay, thread
Uh-huh.
one, thread two. So when this two thread done, then your JVM process also kill. So
Mm-hmm.
currently, whatever till now understand, you have only written all the code in the main thread. So once main thread done, your thread automatic close, and your JVM is done. Your JVM as a process also close. By
Mm-hmm.
default, whatever the memory occupied by this thread or this JVM is automatic released by the JVM process. The
Right.
JVM is also very good feature, automatically release all the occupied space to OS. Whenever we start JVM, Java Virtual Machine request, hey, I need this space.
Then
OS
when it is not used, then it is going to release. Otherwise,
yes,
when it is used, then it is not going. Yeah,
surely
definitely,
not released because I'm using.
definitely.
If
Yeah,
this program is still running, let's see here
yeah,
I'm like
exactly.
some while loop, for loop. They are running multiple times. So they are
Right.
not going to stop, right?
Definitely,
So
definitely.
they are used. So this is the one of the key feature about this Java is the Java support automatically memory management. You don't need to free memory. In the
Mm,
case of C language, you are allocate memory, write the program, and manually you have to deallocate memory. But in
right.
the case of Java language, Java say by default, Java designer implemented auto automatic memory release option.
Right.
Auto
Magic release.
automatically
Right.
released release
Mhm.
all the unused memory. Okay,
Understand.
all the all the
And you said
allocated
like unused process or something, or
all allocated memory.
or okay.
Okay, so this is known as a the technical concept is mm, this all the concept of memory allocation, deallocation is under considered as a garbage collection.
Mm-hmm.
Garbage,
Service collection.
garbage collection.
Mm-hmm.
By default, this concept, automatic memory management, is implemented as a garbage collection. Whenever some time permits, will also discuss key what is garbage collection. The function of garbage collections is they just figure out ki how much memory are Java application using, which are not using, then release them.
Mm-hmm.
Right? This is the by default. For Java developer, it is a good thing you can allocate memory. Once your method completed, automatically release the memory. Right?
Right. Right.
Automatically your thread close and all the thread occupied memory also release.
Mm.
So this is the one of the good, you can say one of the key feature about the Java language. Java language developer just allocate memory, use the memory. Once your thread completed, once your main method completed, specific method completed, those memory automatically released by this garbage collection.
Right.
It's good. So
Yeah.
for today, it's a good, and coming further classes, we are going to understand how we can create my own thread. What are the different way we can create thread? How to look which code is written by which threads, right?
Mm-hmm.
So couple of classes we are going to understand. So today was just theoretical. What is a thread? Thread is
Mm-hmm.
nothing, just a sequence execution of your code.
Right.
But JVM as one process, that is the heavyweight process because they occupied larger memory. Thread is the lightweight process because they required the very little memory, right?
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Yeah. It is really good today. Yeah. Thank you.
So great. Let's continue next session.
That
Let's
is really good, Ajay. Good to know just like all the details and everything. Yeah. Happy to just like get all the details. Yeah. Thank you.
let's any doubt confusion. Surely we can connect, right? Not an issue. Okay.
It definitely just like if there is any confusion, definitely I'm going to ask you the question tomorrow for sure.
Great.
Yeah.